Okay guys, I think we are overdue here, so let's get right into it. Q&A number 4. We will start off with question number 1 from Edwin Atwell. What are your thoughts on Clarence Kennedy? So I don't know a whole lot about Clarence Kennedy, besides he's a really jacked dude, really strong dude. Really good technique on the Olympic lifts. I've seen him clean like 500 pounds. He does pause squats with a ridiculous amount of weight. He looks like Clark Kent, Superman. He's got glasses, everything. And I don't know a whole lot about him. You know, I can't really give a positive or negative opinion on the guy because I haven't watched his stuff extensively. Don't know much about him. He seems like a nice guy. Looking at him, he doesn't look natural to me. I don't know if he claims natural. I don't know if he claims enhanced. I don't know what he claims. I'm just saying he doesn't look natural. So that's one thing, but I don't know what he says about that. I know he's pulled like 750, clean 500, like I've said, clean and jerked 500. Just strong guy, but I don't have a strong opinion on him because I just don't know enough. Number 3, do you have I'm going to jump ahead here. I'm going to do number 3 before number 2. Give me a sec. Do you have a favorite YouTuber? Someone that posts and you say, cool, I've got to watch that. That is from Goodwood497. I don't really watch a whole lot of YouTube content. And I don't really have people specifically that I follow too much. I would say I watch some stuff from like Larry Wheels. I watch Greg Doucette, Dr. Greg Doucette. Everybody knows about that meme. Dude's pretty much a doctor. Greg Doucette, I watch a lot of his stuff. I watch Larry Wheels, like I said. Those are the main like fitness, lifting YouTube people I watch. And I don't watch everything, but I watch some of the stuff. And then I watch, as far as YouTube in general, I watch RX Muscle content. A lot of those videos. And then I will also watch Colin Cowherd, the Herd clips, and I watch some clips from Undisputed with Shannon Sharp and Skip Bayless. So that's the main stuff I watch, but I don't really watch a whole lot of YouTube. Just if I'm like cooking, I'll put some YouTube videos on my phone in the background just to give me something to listen to. Other than that, nothing extensively. How strong were you before taking gear? That is from LegitLPS. And I kind of touched on this in the comments, but this one got a lot of upvotes. So I was squatting, I believe, these are, the only one I'm completely sure about is the deadlift. I was squatting 570 high bar, bare knee, with just a belt. I don't even know if I had a belt actually. I hadn't discovered low bar at that time, so it was all high bar, but 570 high bar, no bare knee. And then I was benching, I want to say 315, 325, somewhere in that range. And then my deadlift was 740 on a stiff bar. So I had some pretty decent numbers before I went on gear, but bench has always pretty much sucked. That's been the one that's been lagging, but that's where I was at. Next question, number 5. If you could do anything in the world other than lifting with no limitations, what would it be? It doesn't have to be a job, it could be anything. That is from O Neill. And if I could do anything in the world, there's not a lot of things I'm passionate about besides lifting that I'd want to do. Like lifting heavy, coaching clients, that's my passion, that's what I love to do. So I'd pretty much be doing what I'm doing now, which is very cool. Like when I was in high school, I looked at like how I'd want to live my life, and I'm basically doing that right now. So as far as my passion is lifting and training and getting stronger, and that's what I do. So I'm happy with that. I wouldn't change that part of things. I might, if I had no financial limitations, I would do maybe more like half my work with dogs and half of it would be coaching people. So I would do some things with dogs. I'm very passionate about dogs. Outside of lifting, dogs are my biggest passion in life. I love them all. I'm like just an absolute crazy person about dogs. So I'd work with dogs, and then the other thing I would do, I would move to Maui. So Maui is my favorite place in the world. Kelly and I, we go there once a year, and it's very expensive. I think the average home price, even condo price, is like $570,000 a year. But I would move there, live there if I had no financial limitations. And there's a great gym there, whole amount of barbell, so I could continue my powerlifting and be set. That's basically the main things I would do if I could do anything in the world. I don't really want to like travel the world. That hasn't been a big thing of mine. There's areas I'd want to see, but The other thing probably on my bucket list, the main thing on my bucket list would be to travel to every state. So I've probably been to about a third of the states already, but I want to go to all of them and see all of those. And there are some places out of country that I would want to see as well. I just don't have an extensive list. Like Italy would be kind of cool to see, perhaps Bora Bora, which is crazy expensive, so that's obviously why that hasn't happened. Parts of like the British Columbia area, maybe some of the islands off of like the European coast, like I think it's called Santorini or something. So there's some areas I'd want to see, but I'm not a huge world traveler kind of guy. Like I just would be happy seeing all the places in my own country, and that'd be good. Number 6, have you ever thought about moving up to the 275 weight class from Harry Squatter? There's another question that kind of went hand in hand with this, which was, have you ever thought about going up or down a weight class from 242 from Eldon 1X? And honestly, guys, I've touched on this before in the past. I do not want to go up to, thanks a lot, Lucy, I do not want to go up to, a weight class because I would have to take so much gear to get to 275. I'd be super unhealthy, my sleep apnea would be terrible, and I would feel like crap all the time. And then if I were to go to 220, it'd be literally impossible. I think there's no way in heck I could make 220 without dying. I don't even know if I can make 225. I think the lowest my body weight would go at this point is 230 because I'm already really lean. There's not a lot to cut. So even with a water cut, the leaner you are, the less weight you can cut. So 230, I've done that once. That seems reasonable. Once in recent years, I've cut to that. But 220 is pretty much out of the question. Like, there's no way I can make that weight. I'm 6 feet tall, so it's like my proportions just aren't there to make that weight class. I very comfortably fall in the 240 to 250 range year round. So 242 is perfect for me. And I just have no interest from a health standpoint to go up a weight and have worse sleep apnea and feel awful and lethargic all the time. And then I have no interest in going down because I know I couldn't make it. If we were doing USAPL weight classes, IPF, and I had to go to 105 kg, 231, I could probably make that. It'd be rough, but I could make it. But 220 there's no way I can make that anymore. Number 7, what's it like being Pete Rubish in a world built for Do You Even Lifts? DYEL from Invisible Hotdog. And then this kind of ties into that question, like, what does your family think about being so strong, about you being so strong and such a recognized powerlifter? Do they think it's cool, or they couldn't care less? From Gustav L. Honestly, guys, like, I don't get all that much recognition out in public or, going out and about. Like, I look like a guy who lifts, who's pretty big, but there's plenty of big guys at the gym. You go to any gym, there's big guys and plenty of strong people. So, like, 2 years ago, I think it was 2016, 2017, in that time period, I think my popularity peaked as far as that's when I had the most recognition on social media, things like that. Like, my Instagram hasn't even grown in 2 years, guys. It's been stuck at like the same followers for 2 years. So it's not as big of a thing anymore, but it's kind of fun. Sometimes I go to airports and stuff and people come up to me, recognize me. And even we were in Maui, in Lahaina, walking around, and a guy on vacation with his wife, he recognized me, and he was visiting from Juneau, Alaska, and I ended up meeting up to train with him later. But that was probably the coolest time. People have come up to me in the Charlotte airport, San Jose, places like that. So it happens on occasion, but most people have no clue who I am, and I'm not like some big deal. And my family couldn't care less. That's 100% true. Like, they never see me as a power lifter or care about any of that. We don't really talk about that stuff a whole lot. They just see me as Pete. And it's weird because it's like, all you guys see me as Pete Rubish, but no one who I am in contact with every day, like Kelly and stuff, they see me as Pete. Like, I could pull a PR and everybody's just kind of like, oh, okay. Like, whatever. Like, even at the gym, nobody cares. Nobody cares at all. I can go to other gyms and be completely anonymous. So it's not a big deal. It's not like that. Like, I'm just pretty much fairly normal person, and I blend in with everyone. I'm just a little bigger. So other than that, like, I don't even think half the people in my area know who I am. Like, I go to the grocery store or whatever, they're just like, that's just some jacked guy. That's it. And like my mom hasn't even ever been to a powerlifting meet. She doesn't support my steroid use and stuff like that. So she's supportive of, like, she doesn't care that I lift and all that, but she doesn't like me taking stuff, and she's not crazy about it. So my dad's, he's really cool with it. He loves it, but it's just not a huge deal. Number 9, do you think that some of the top IPF/USAPL lifters are on gear? You don't have to name names. Daniel Jackson. Well, honestly, guys, my view on this has changed somewhat in the last few years. Like, I do think obviously there are always people who skirt the system and compete untested or compete tested but aren't natural. I think there's always going to be those people, no matter what the sport. But I think after what I've seen the last few years, as far as guys who were tested and then go to untested and how much stronger they got, I think it's very possible that many of these records and these numbers we're seeing are clean lifts. John Hack was like, he won the 83 kilo class at Worlds, IPF Worlds, and look at what he's doing now. He's going to have the top rated Wilks in the entire powerlifting world in about 2-3 weeks here, 2 weeks at the tribute meet. And then guys like Jamal Browner, he competed USAPL for a while, pulled upper 7s. I think he pulled like 782 or something like that. And now he's pulling like, you know, freaking 1,000 pounds. So it's like, I think we have to rethink what our capabilities are for humans. As powerlifting gets more and more popular, we're going to see more and more ridiculous numbers. So I do think a lot of it is legit. Number 10, what was your disc herniation? Was it was your disc herniation L5S1? And if so, how do you recover from it? Yamac Gulfidan, Alumni, that's his name. My disc herniation, I believe, is L4, L5. I may have multiple herniations. I've never gotten an MRI done on it because I really don't care. I don't want to see how bad it is because I'm not going to stop lifting. So I know there's disc issues in my back, and I do think it's L4, L5 specifically, if not a few more. But I do my best to work around them. And ever since I've started doing these weighted bar hangs from a pull-up bar, it's been a game changer. So I'm going to list all the things I do to take care of my back on basically a daily basis. Like, what you guys don't realize is I spend twice as much time doing mobility and rehab work than I do actually training. So I only maybe train 3 days a week or so, lifting wise. But I spend every single day doing mobility and rehab work for at least an hour every day, and core work. So every day I'm doing the ab wheel, I'm doing weighted planks with upwards of 200 pounds, because I really found when I started going really heavy on weighted planks, my back felt way better. So doing like planks for 3 minutes or with a 45-pound plate wasn't getting me the results that if I put like 200 pounds on my back and do it for, you know, 30 to 60 seconds. Weighted side planks, I do these, same kind of principle. Put like a 25 kilo plate on my hip and do that for a minute. I've done side planks now for over 2 minutes each side. I do that. I do suitcase farmer walks to stabilize my QL. QL is the muscle in the low back. That's a core muscle. Helps big time with back pain. Been doing those. Been hitting my glute medius because the glute medius also plays a role in stabilizing your back and core. I've been doing the bar hangs, like I said. A lot of people do they do bar hangs from a pull-up bar, but when you add weight to it, it's a game changer, and that really decompresses the spine. So I've been hanging, you know, upwards of 220 pounds, 100 kilos from my from the dip belt, and really decompressing the spine on a daily basis. I'm trying to think what else. Like, I do so much stuff just to take care of my back, and then I go to the chiropractor on occasion. But those are the main things. And then I'll get to the last question here, which was the most upvoted question, which is, what is the dumbest thing you've ever done and how did it affect your life? From Cellar Door. So some of you guys may know this story. I got married when I was like 22 or 23 after dating a girl for a month. So we just were like head over heels in love, you know, like you really know at that point. And we just, I wasn't ready for it. And basically it blew up in my face after a year because we didn't really know each other. We hadn't developed that bond, and we just kind of rushed it and went for it. And we were young and naive and didn't know any better, and it didn't work out. So I lived in Wisconsin my whole life, southern Wisconsin. I ended up moving to Lexington to be with her, and after a year, things blew up. I moved out of Lexington, moved to Knoxville, And it all kind of works out because I met Kelly. Been with Kelly for about almost 4 years now. Got my dog Lucy. And all these things wouldn't happen if I hadn't gone through that experience. So life is never like a straight line. It's never like you're just progressing 24/7. It's up and down. Like you go through BS and things are good. You go through BS, things are good. That's how it works. It's peaks and valleys. So I don't, everything worked out in the end. And I don't hold any animosity over the situation or anything like that. But it just wasn't a smart thing to do. Like obviously you guys are all saying, wow, you're an idiot. Why would you get married after a month? But when you're young, man, you make stupid mistakes, and I could have done a lot of worse things. So everything worked out. I'm thankful now. I'm with Kelly. Things are phenomenal. She's an awesome woman, and things couldn't be any better. So it's like, I look at it, it all worked out. It wasn't smart, but that's definitely probably the dumbest thing I've ever done. Outside of that, really, I can't think of like anything real dumb I did. I would have done things differently as far as like how I started taking steroids. I wouldn't have jumped full in on like tren and stuff, like pretty much right off the bat. So there's things like that were pretty stupid, but nothing major, no major screw ups I would say outside of those. But yeah, that covers the video for the week. What I'm gonna do here, I will get the training footage up in the next few days, or maybe even tomorrow, and give it an upvote. We'll keep these going. I think the meet is 5.5 weeks away. Subscribe, do all the things. I appreciate it, guys.